I have one question to ask you. Have you planned out your goals? Have you planned out your future? Because if you haven't, you're going to repeat the same thing that you did last year if you didn't set any goals. You must set goals. Goals are something that keeps you on track and keep you actually in alignment. I look at goals and discipline kind of the same in a way because discipline measures how far you're going, right? Because you go if you're disciplined and you see when you stop and see how far you came. Goals is also like a measuring point where you can measure out where you started and where you're at now. And I was just thinking to myself that, man, I haven't made a 10-year goal. And it was shocking. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, you never made a 10-year goal. You never made goals after you reached your actual goal, right? What if you actually reach whatever financial marker? What if it's the 100,000? Is it if it's the $1 million, if it's the $1 billion, or any level of purpose that you reach? What do you do afterwards? Like, what does life look like after you reach your goal? Because if you don't have a plan, you will begin to go backwards. Because it's a saying that it's harder to build something, but easier to lose everything. Everything is so easy to go in a regressive mode instead of a progressive mode, right? Because that's how life is. I mean, that's how life is. If you have a home and your home you take hours to get it organized, all it takes is about 5 minutes to you look if you, especially if you got kids, your home is a mess. So discipline and goals, and the goals, I was just thinking to myself like, man, I need to make goals. I need to make goals that outlive me, because down in Miami, it's two brothers. They own a plot of lot, well, land, not lot. And with this land, the government actually rents from them. The government build buildings on this land and pay them, I think they said around 20,000 a month. And they've been doing this for over, I think, 40 years. And the contracts are like 20-year contracts. They don't do anything under 10 years. So I was thinking to myself, I was like, wait, two things. One thing I want to talk about the brothers planning out actually getting something that can outlive them for the next generation. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, guys, your next generation coming in after you and say you planned out for 100 years? Like, we're gonna have this land for 100 years, and then the 100th year, in your trust, in your will, whatever you write up, you guys can sell it. I just want to see, me personally, I want to look at how much it is to do 20,000 a month, 12 months, times how many years? 100 years. So that's $24 million in 100 years. How many generations will benefit from this $24 million? It's like, you may or may not live for 100 years, right? You may live for maybe 40 of those 100 years, or 50 of those 100 years, but you're not going to be the main one taking from this. Now you have the next generation, they come in and they're able to actually benefit off of the work that you did. And it's passively. So you got this 100-year mark. I was like, man, that makes so much sense. And the second part I want to talk about is, like, if you think about cities and governments, they plan things for the long run. They have goals. They don't just do something for 1 year and stop. No, they say this is a 15-year, 10-year project, 20-year project. This is what it's going to look like. And majority of the time, the city actually looks like what's being said, right? So I was thinking to myself, I need to copy the government of how they plan things out. Like, wealthy people plan things out for a long term, right? And I really had to break that mindset, that pattern of me making a year goal, 2 year goal, right? Or 5 year goals. And I really want you guys to get, I really want you to get into making 20-year goals, 10-year goals. Start off with that because that will begin to mold your mindset. You would know if what you're doing now, if it aligns with what you want life to be like for you in 20 years. And it takes having goals. This is very important because you need to measure. You need to sit down and measure your milestones because if you're just going throughout life and allowing life to happen to you, and you look up, you 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you first had goals at 30, and now you don't have any goals, man, you're going to be in trouble. And then you're going to be upset, and then you're going to blame everyone else for you not taking the time out and to be disciplined for a year or two to get your family on course, to get your life on course. But it starts now. It starts with you right now changing your mental capacity, changing your mind frame, and begin to plan out 10 years out, 15 years out, 20 years out. You need to plan out things like, what are my kids? What do I want my kids to go to private schools? I want my kids to do soccer. You need to plan everything out, right? You need to really plan these things out because if you don't operate in life, life will happen to you. Like if you don't plan, life would plan for you. And you don't want life to plan for you because sometimes it don't give you the things that you truly want. So that's something that I wanted to share with you all as I came on because this is very important by setting goals. How can we set goals? What does that even look like, guys? So setting a goal is measurable goal. We don't want to be, I know they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a billionaire, but you don't have no plan that match that, or you haven't created a product. So you need to see where you at right now. You need to look at where you at, observe it, and be like, okay, and be honest with yourself. With who you are right now, are you able to do the steps that can get you to that $1 billion, or do the steps that can get you to that $1 million in 2 to 3 years? Right? You need to be honest. Take inventory of your environment because your environment will tell you what you're able to do. Like you will know like, oh, okay, I know I can do this. But it's another side to it because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, right? But make sure you set time aside and write down those goals, your 1 year goals, your 3 year goals, and measure it out. And maybe, not maybe, God can give you that increase. God can actually give you that increase when you have a plan. But if you don't have a plan, how do you plan for God to show up? Like you need to create something so God can show up to give you the increase. And once you create something, that's when the plans and God can come in to give you that increase. Okay. So you must then create a structure. You need to align yourself with people that have similar goals, right? People that's owners. If you want to have ownership in real estate, if you want to be a business owner, if you just want to volunteer more, whatever it is, you need to begin to align yourself with this atmosphere of people that have the same mindset as you because you don't want to be unequally yoked with the wrong people and they slowing down your process because of their thought patterns. Because when you have a lot of naysayers around you, people that's like, nah, you can't really do that, that slows you down because now you trying to force, now you're trying to make it happen. But then you miss the rest phase. You miss that phase where you get that download and you can implement things in increment of measurements, right? So I just wanted to come on here and share this with you all. I hope you find this beneficial. Please like and share and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.